I'm beginning to see that I learn not only through changes in my behavior, but also through cognitive adaptations and growth. Take, for instance, how I learned to place a peripheral IV catheter. Admittedly, as a novice, I started with a goal to memorize the steps needed to place an IV catheter for a passing grade as an undergrad. First, I was asked to read a set of placement instructions. Then, I observed the placement by watching videos and in person demonstrations. Then, with the help of my partner, I placed them myself on fake legs. As a novice, I had similar questions like those who viewed my IV catheter placement video, like what on earth are all these bits and pieces? Initially, I added new information to my pre-existing knowledge. By then, I knew the difference between veins and arteries, the location and anatomy of common veins in our companion animals, the general purposes of IV catheters, and the difference between catheters, needles, and syringes. Through a learning process called schema, I began recognizing different needles, syringes, vacutainers, and IV catheter types. A concept first introduced by Frederick Bartlett, schema can be defined as a cognitive framework or concept that helps organize and interpret information. Through this concept of learning, I gained additional knowledge by applying this new content to previous knowledge. I considered what I already knew while learning new information. Here I am performing two different IV catheter placement techniques. Once I was able to learn the whys about this procedure, I was able to develop a habit. I learned the steps to perform not only a quick catheter placement, but one using aseptic technique. This habit, which leads to an efficient and successful catheter placement, leads to being an expert at this task. Everyone's an expert, and I believe that one can be experts for different reasons. Whether playing basketball, helping others in need, quickly solving a math problem, these all take experts in one form or another. Bransford et al. States that experts have acquired extensive knowledge that affects what they notice and how they organize, represent, and interpret information in their environment. This, in turn, affects their abilities to remember, reason, and solve problems. Bransford et al. Explains several principles of experts' knowledge. One is the ability for an expert to recognize a change in the environment and have the ability to adjust one's actions and behaviors appropriately. Bransford et al. Explains that these adaptive experts have the ability to continue learning through their experiences and tend to question their level of knowledge. Through different experiences, I've had to replace catheters, troubleshoot placement, use different vessels, and place them during urgent and chaotic circumstances. Performing under pressure and problem solving is another reason why I am an expert at performing IV catheters. And so what I've learned for this specific expertise is that it's not so much about the repeated steps taken to place a catheter through practice and habit development that lead to me becoming an expert. Rather, it's my ability to perform under an unpredictable environment, to fully understand the whys to what I am doing, and to automatically retrieve and apply only the necessary knowledge. As an educator, I can now see a stronger emphasis on teaching to become an expert, not to simply complete a task. This can be difficult at times, especially when our students have loads of hands-on techniques to perfect. But I can strive to provide as many opportunities for my students to have those aha moments, which will encourage them to pull the information forward, apply what they've learned, and really make those connections to fully understand what it takes to become an expert at that task.